Good morning, everybody, and I hope everybody had a beautiful night and everybody have a beautiful day this morning, and they will have a good day. Anyhow, so I would like to wish everybody, all women, a happy Mother's Day. Whether you are a mother yourself or you are a daughter, of course, I would like you to have a beautiful day with your mom and your children, and even women who are trying to have children. I would like to pray for you and for you to have peace in your heart. I know it's hard sometimes on social media when you're scrolling down and you see people celebrating things that you actually want and they're not happening to you, and people are like, oh, I'm having a beautiful day with my children, this is the best day ever. I know sometimes it can be like, you know what I mean, they're slapping it on your face, but I like to send love, and I like to send you so much love and to tell you that it will come. You know what I mean? Like nobody can take away what was written for you. So it can come out late, but it will definitely come to you. Anyhow, I would like to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to my YouTube channel. This is my new YouTube channel. This is just my second video, and I would like to say thank you to everybody who actually took their time to watch my last video, and this is my second one. Obviously, I've said that. I'm really new to this medium of YouTube. I'm really new to this. I don't know much about it. I'm learning as I go. I've decided to dip my feet in the ocean and just said I'm gonna upload the video and say speak my mind. I'm really happy for everybody who will grow with me as I start to grow bigger and learn how to edit videos and shoot from my camera, because I do have a camera. It's just that your girl is literally not good and stuff like that, but I'm learning. I hope my next video is not gonna be short in the car or my phone. Anyhow, I'm at the process of setting up my little space where I'll be shooting my videos, so please stay tuned for further content, and I'm really excited for that. Today I would like to talk about self-love. This is something very dear to me because it's very vague, and it's something that when you talk about it, people can look at you like, oh, are you narcissistic, or are you like so much into yourself? But it's something that I wish I was not like taught. It's not like I wasn't told the importance of loving myself as a kid or as a young lady, but it's not something that was talked about a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I wish this is something that can be talked about in dinner tables, or between aunties and little girls, or between mothers and daughters, older sisters and younger sisters. It is something that I think that I missed growing up. And it's something that I will pass on to my son and hopefully my future children if I have a daughter. If not, my future children, I don't know. I will just something that I will pass on to anybody younger who will be willing to listen. All right, so on this self-love, I have researched a lot. I've gone through a lot in my life, which in my further videos we'll talk about, not in details, because I'm not here to shade anybody. I'm just here to spread love and to enjoy this new medium that I've really liked for a long time. So I have researched a lot again on your other YouTube channels, on videos that I've watched online, from internet, from the websites, and also from reading books a lot. I love to read books, from listening to audiobooks. Since I become a mom, it's really tough for me to allocate a time to actually read a book and finish. And it's kind of depressing for me to start a book and not finish it. So I just resort to audiobooks. I love them. I listen to them when I'm driving. I listen to them when I'm ironing, when I'm doing something, cooking, when my son is not bothering me. I just listen to them instead of listening to music. Also from podcasts, I love them. They are really useful in getting a lot of information because they go straight to the point and they specifically talk about something in depth. So I really love them. I spend so much time listening to podcasts. I don't remember the last time I was on Netflix or Amazon videos or something like that, because I'm really like my time off is very important to me. Anyhow, so what I've concluded in this topic is three things that I would like to talk about today. Number one, it is important for you to know where you came from, and to understand that your upbringing, whether you like it or not, your upbringing has of a lot of impact in your life right now. So it is important for you to know that you cannot be bitter about how your parents raised you, how much money you guys had, whether you were poor or rich, or whether you didn't have a good role model growing up, or whether your parents divorced, your parents were not good parents, or your parents were actually overprotective. Whatever it is that you had growing up, it is impacting your life right now. And if you don't do anything about it, you're going to pass it on to your kids. It is not uncommon to see a trend where somebody said, I'm the first generation to graduate from college, or I'm the first generation to get married. Everybody have kids with outside of wedlock. I'm the first generation to actually, go to school. It's not uncommon. So things like this don't happen because people don't like to have a good life or don't like to have their life together. But it's something that if you don't work on something that happened to your father, it's gonna eventually you're going to copy him whether you like it or not, and then you're going to bring it to your kids. It's very important to understand why are you acting the way you're acting. You can only do this by sitting down by yourself. Again, I said this in my last video, I am really keen on this because nobody can tell you this. Even if somebody actually tell you this, when you're not ready to listen, you will actually challenge them. But when you actually sit down by yourself and you start to recollect yourself and you go like, oh, wait a minute, why am I always paying my bills late? Like, why don't I sit aside and write down everything that I'm supposed to pay? Like, things that are obvious: mortgage, phone bill, car insurance, I don't know, medical insurance, kids. Small little payments that you do, or I don't know, subscriptions that you've done that you need to pay. Why am I always acting like I'm surprised, like, oops, that is a Netflix bill, oh my god, I'm not gonna pay this month, oh, that's this bill. Like, why are you always, your life is always acting like everything is a surprise to you, as if you just got this bill today? You've been paying this for 7 years, but every month it comes to you like it's a surprise. Why can't you actually set your bills on a paper, and then you know how much you're making, and then you pay your bills way before they're due? Why do you always have to get a text from, or phone call or letter for you to pay your bills? Is this something that you learn from your parents? Were your parents always struggling and doing like this? And I'm not saying this to share people working minimum wage or people do with less money. I have seen people making a lot of money. I was one of them. I've seen people making a lot of money and they still do this. It is not something entirely to poor people. I've seen rich people struggling paying their bills because they just spend way more than what they make. So is this something that you learn from your parents? Is it something that you learn from an early childhood or your young adult life? Like, nobody taught you anything about finances. You know what I mean? You need to put yourself accountable. Now, once you realize things that you have learned from your parents, obviously you look at the trend, how they were when you were younger, how they are right now. Are they happy? Are they in their life where are they where they wanted to be? Talk to your parents. You know what I mean? They could, I'm not saying like shed them, just sit with your father or mother, whoever that you're comfortable with, and talk to them. Mom, are you exactly where you wanted to be when you were younger? Did you say, when I'm 60, this is where I want to be? You know what I mean? Tell her. Maybe she will tell you, you know what, I actually didn't want to be here. This is what I wanted to do. I am lucky that I've been able to live with my mom for a while, and she tells me a lot of things that I'm really learning about her. You know what I mean? Like, things that I didn't know about her at all. So she's telling me these things, and I get to understand her from another point of view. So I get to understand, like, her dreams and ambitions. Sometimes you see a parent as a mom, you don't see this person who had dreams and ambitions way before you came along. So when you talk to them, you get to understand them. You get to understand the decisions they've made, the mistakes they've made, and why they've made the mistakes. And hopefully you can avoid them, because mind you, when you grow up, having a food on, like somebody serve you food, the first thing you do is put salt before even testing it. You will do that whether you go to a 5-star restaurant or you go to somebody's house. I've seen people do that because it's second nature to them. You need to understand these second nature habits that you have acquired growing up. They cannot just disappear just because you are in a new relationship, just because you got married, just because you're in a new country, just because you got a degree, just because you turned 40. No, or just because you became a parent. No, these second nature things, they come with you unless you sit down and you say, oh, why do I do that? When did I start to do that? Very few people are lucky enough to find partners in their lives who will tell them this in a nice way, and very few people will be lucky enough to listen. Most of us are told, but we're like, no, this is how I am. Leave me alone. You know this all along. Why are you acting crazy right now? Sometimes we don't listen. Anyhow, so that's number one. Please sit down and recollect yourself what it is that you're doing right now that you have acquired growing up, and how is this thing impacting you. Because until you sit down and dig deep inside and find out what things are actually causing you to act the way you're acting right now, there's no way you can improve. Anybody else will tell you things and you'll be like, no, this is how I am. No, you're being crazy. No, love me as I am. No, leave me alone if you don't want. Like, you will be defensive with everything because you grow up doing this, so nobody can tell you nothing. Okay? No man can learn unless they want to learn. We have a saying in Swahili that my non-Swahili speakers are not gonna understand right now, but basically it's saying you can take a cow to the river, but you cannot force a cow to actually drink the river water. So that's the same thing. You can take somebody to school, you can teach somebody, but you cannot force somebody to be educated. You know what I mean? Basically, it has to start from you. You have to recollect yourself before you start putting in new information. Understand, why am I acting the way I'm acting? Because only then you will realize, all right, yes, I was mistreated before as a kid. Yes, I was abused as a kid. Yes, I had a beautiful upbringing, and then as my young adult life, I messed it up. But how is this impacting me right now? Am I acting on a defensive mode with anybody? Am I always acting crazy with a new partner, thinking they're gonna act crazy as well? Am I I gave up on love and I don't want to talk about love and I don't want to do anything about love? Just think. These things can only come from your heart, and you are the only one who can actually be honest with yourself. Just point blank. That's one. Your therapist might help you, but it is important for regular people like me and you who don't go to therapy much to actually recollect ourselves. It is doable. It's not easy, but it's doable. Sit down, think, write things down. If you don't want to write things down, record them on your phone, on your whatever. And as you're driving, recollect yourself. It is not difficult to find the time to be alone. That's one. Two, it is important to know that, as I said in number one, recollect yourself. Now it's a time to understand that, okay, what has happened, but we cannot be bitter about that. We have a saying. There's one example that I like to talk about. For example, there's three things. There's a carrot, there's coffee, and then there's egg. You put these three things in three separate pots of water. You boil the water the same way, and then you dip one pot with carrot, another one with egg, another one with coffee. The coffee that was so bitter, right now it will smell good and it will be drinkable, and you can actually drink it even without sugar or milk. The carrot that was so hard, now it is so soft. The egg that was so fragile and you can easily break it, now it's hard. You literally have to crack it to open it. So basically what I'm trying to explain it, we have different personalities in life, and we can go through the same problem, but how we come out of it is completely different. I'm not saying if you were gentle, that now that you've gone through divorce, now that your partner took all your money, or your partner doesn't want to take care of you and your kids, or your parents don't understand you, or your friends turn on you, or you got fired from your job, or people are gossiping about you, or whatever problem that you're going through. You went through miscarriage, you lost a kid, you lost a husband, you lost a wife. People go through problems, like big problems. Or your parent is having a terminal disease, you yourself are having a terminal disease. Whatever problem you're going through, I'm not saying now it's the time to put a hard shell and say, okay, no more. No more, nobody talk to me. I don't want nobody. I don't want to hear about love. Like, I hate everybody. Like, get away from me. That that is not going to work in the long run, because you're basically hurting yourself. And I'm not saying now is the time to be like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm so sad. Anybody say hi to you? Hi, oh my god, did you hear my boyfriend left me? It's gonna take a minute, and then people will be like, I'm not gonna go to her, because every time I talk to her, it's like, sad gazelle all over. And you don't want to be the kind of person who is now acting like you're now like John Cena trying to fix everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I went through this, so now I can fix everybody. Take time to heal. Take time to work on yourself. Take time to analyze your own problems, but do not stay there. Do not be bitter. When you take a plant, like, let's say a flower, or not like a big plant. Sometimes we have these nice plants and we put them in our living room or bedroom, whatever it is that you want to do, or a bathroom, in a window bathroom. When you put these plants, the reason why we put them next to the window is because they need a light. And usually, sometimes the one with big branches, the branch will follow the light. So that's showing you a plant without legs is following the light. What makes you a human being with legs and arms? And God forbid, even if you don't have legs and arms, but you can move. Even if you cannot move, your mind is working. If you're going through problems, what makes you think you can dwell on them and just sit there like a pig who is just rolling around in the mud and enjoying himself? Like, problems are there. They will happen to anybody. They even happen to Pop. They happen to everybody of us, right? But when problems happen, why do you want to dwell on them and be bitter and be like, okay, so this is my problem, so this is me? You know what I mean? We grow nails, right? Okay, I don't have a lot of I don't have nails anymore. I have mommy nails. When you have nails, we don't say I am nail. I am nails. We say I have nails, right? The same thing. When you have, I always say this to people who call themselves fat. You have fat in your body, but you're not fat. It's a person. There's more to you than fatness. You have hair, you have teeth, you have eyes, you have eyelashes, you have skin, you have blood in your system, you have water, you have fat, but you're not fat, right? So don't make yourself as the problem. Don't make the problem you, or the whole of you. There's more to you than that problem. We make a pie chart of yourself, right? And put percentages. How much is this problem a part of me? It is a part of you. I'm not being in denial here. It is a part of you, but it is not the whole of you. If you think this problem is the whole of you, that is all you're gonna wake up, dream, and think about all the time, and that is gonna affect your mental state. Last but not least, please, I would like to say, stay positive and surround yourself with positive people. Do not surround yourself with people who are not positive, because they will kill your vibe. This is all I'm going to talk about today. I'm sorry the video is a little bit longer, and I hope you liked it, and my next video is going to be better. Love you guys.